Ahead and get started. Good morning, good morning. As folks are joining us this morning, those that we have here, if you will, I know Christina mentioned that we've been having some technical difficulties, so please bear with us as the link that we sent out wasn't a working one. So no worries. We are going to go ahead and get started. And as we're pinging folks in, just bear with us. As we're waiting for other folks to be joining in, go ahead in the chat, go ahead and introduce yourself and let us know where you're from as we are getting folks in our sessions here. And then just make sure you are muted as you are coming in. You're welcome to turn on your cameras if you like. We would love to see your lovely faces. So you're welcome to do that. Again, we are excited that you are here today. Those that are joining us, and if we can put that in the chat as well, of what I've kind of communicated, go ahead and just introduce yourself. Let us know where you're from. Can y'all see my screen okay? Is it like centered?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, good. Try and make sure my pages look okay. All right. Awesome. Again, as you are joining in, go ahead and introduce yourself. Let us know where you are from, and we will get started here very shortly. Thanks so much for bearing with us.
All right, we have people from Mesquite, from Fort Worth, from Carrollton. See some folks from Dallas. Grand Prairie. I have someone from Harlem, New York. Welcome, Brianna.
All right.
Wilmer, Texas. DeSoto, Texas.
Yay.
Houston, Texas. That would be myself.
Looks like we got a variety of folks from different areas, different area codes. It's exciting to have you guys here. Thank you so much for being here. Again, if you're joining us, go ahead and introduce yourselves in the chat and let us know where you're from. And we'll get started here in the next two minutes.
Yeah, Garland, Texas. All right. Lancaster, Texas.
All right. All right, so I think we're going to go ahead and get started. Thank you guys so much for introducing yourselves and then letting us know where you're from. If you're just now joining us, you are welcome to introduce yourself and let us know where you're coming from. And so we are just glad to see you all here. We're going to go ahead and get started here. All right. All right, so good morning, folks. Thank you all so much for being here again. My name is Destiny Tolbert. I serve as the director of the Pioneer Center for Student Excellence here at the Dallas campus. It is a pleasure to be with you today. Again, thank you so much for attending our first Summer Bridge program. Today's session, which is our first year foundations, a guide to understanding college life at TWU. We're excited that you've joined us. Real quickly, I wanted to go over what is Summer Bridge program. We were able to have the opportunity to meet a lot of you, not only at new student orientation, but also we've been able to communicate with you through email, as well as text message. And so just glad that you all are here. And y'all have been really great. And so today our goal is to really just kind of explain the goal of being a participant of Summer Bridge and the expectations this week. So wanted to just real quickly kind of go over that with you all. I'm going to change my slide here. And so here I've, there we go. Wanted to just explain a little bit about what Promise Summer Bridge is. Basically, it provides incoming TWU students who are part of the Promise program, so such as Dallas County Promise, T3, and also our Red River Promise students. Really an opportunity to jumpstart your academic journey before the semester begins. And so to really just help you gain just that comprehensive college experience and support network that enhances your personal responsibility and intellectual, civic, and social engagement. We want you to be able to participate this week, consisting of, we'll be able to provide you with some college success workshops. This week, we'll be hosting a series of workshops designed to really, enhance your success here at TWU. And the program is designed to really just prepare you as students to ease the transition into college. And so some examples and topics that we'll include in the workshops this week will include college knowledge, time management, learning styles, strategies for studying and personal career development, some expectations and more here. And so looking forward to providing that information to you all. And so I'm sorry, did I not click there we go. It's a lot going on my screen here. Sorry, y'all. So, okay, let me see if I can move this little thing here. Bear with me. It's all in my way. Awesome. All right. And so, as I kind of explained, these are one thing that you'll learn this week is you'll get a chance to really connect with students. You'll be getting a chance to connect with some of our staff and faculty here as well. And so we want to give you that opportunity to do that. All right. And so what to expect attending the Summer Bridge workshop series. You'll get a chance to receive academic coaching support, being a part of the Summer Bridge, and you'll be able to learn helpful tips for assessing additional funding sources. You'll be able to develop meaningful connections with peers. And so when I say that, you'll be able to learn how to navigate college. You'll be able to build those relationships with faculty. You'll be able to navigate family, expectations, and then overcoming those obstacles as well. Another thing that you'll be able to learn and gain is some necessary college success skills, such as time management, general study skills, the adjustment to college, academic well-being, campus engagement, balancing life and school, and et cetera there. You'll learn about some resources available at TWU that will, really support you personally and academically. So most of you have gotten familiar with the Google Classroom. And so today I want to make sure you navigate it really well, but just to kind of give you a brief explanation of what and a clear understanding of what Google Classroom is about. Really, it's the central hub for all the tools and resources for you to really just focus on learning. And so here you will see that we put in like announcements. So if there's any like internship opportunities, resources that you should take advantage of, you should definitely get in tuned with a lot of those resources that we have available for you. We'll put those in the announcements. We will have them all here in the Google Classroom. So really, this is the one-stop shop here. And so let's go ahead and try to get familiar with it, those that haven't been able to navigate it, all right? And so how to access and navigate Google Classroom. A lot of you we've been able to meet with at new student orientation, just to make sure that you've accepted the invite to Google Classroom. And we've kind of gave you a quick run through of how to use it. But today what I wanted to do is just give you kind of like that visual of what it looks like to navigate Google Classroom. So I'm going to go ahead and click on our link here and get out of my email, but make sure you are logged in with your TWU email. So once you've joined it, or if you, let's just say you're here today and you weren't able to get into the Google Classroom yet, you can do that now. You're welcome to take out your phones and do that now, but make sure when you're logging in and you've accepted, you've clicked on that link, make sure you log in with your TWU email. And so what it's probably going to say right after this, because I've already accepted it and everything, I just need to make sure that my I was logged in with my TWU account. It's going to say join like I had on the picture there. You'll click it and make sure that you're logged in with your TWU account. So here you can kind of see this is the first page that'll take you to. So these are announcements here that will basically include any announcements about like new things that's happening on campus, or things, programs and resources that we want to make sure you are in the know about, coming from our Pioneer Center for Student Excellence, all right? And so this is where you will find it here in the announcements. Also, when you go to Classroom, this is where you will find all of our Summer Bridge program workshops for this week. These are the workshops from last year, and then here is our student resources listed here. So definitely check out some of the resources and opportunities here in the Google Classroom. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is try to, so this is my last page. If you have any questions, reach out to me. That's my my email and my phone number. If you have any questions, definitely contact me and I'll try to answer any of those questions for you. All right, I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to Christine, and she is going to provide us with today's first foundations. All right, I'll give it to you, Christine. And
Thank you. So we're going to go ahead and start. Let me share my screen so I can share our presentation for today. All right. Can I get a confirmation that we can see my screen?
Yes, I can see your screen.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, well, today I'm going to be covering First Year Foundations, a guide to understanding college life at TWU. My name is Christine Torres. I'm the Assistant Director for the Pioneer Center of Student Excellence. I am on the Houston campus. So for those of you I got to meet at orientation, thank you for joining us today. Let's go ahead and get started. Let's use our chat button and please drop in the chat the answer to this question. So what excites you the most about coming to TWU? So if you go to the very bottom of the screen, there should be a chat button. And there we go. clubs, meeting new people, new opportunities, resources that we have for students. Yeah, we're going to talk about a lot of that. Meeting new people. All right. Let's talk about what concerns. Thank you. Still drop your comments. We still want to see this because the whole point of interacting during these presentations is so that you can see that you're not alone. You're going to see some things that you're like, I didn't think about. New opportunities, beautiful campus, new experiences, dorm life. Awesome. So let's go ahead and start dropping the answers to this next question. What concerns do you have about coming to TWU? I hate becoming an independent student. I'm most excited about making new friends and learning how to become independent. We're going to talk about that today. Awesome. Thanks, Isela. So any concerns? Anybody have any worries or anything that they're concerned about? Distractions, financial help. Financial aid is going to be here tomorrow. We're going to talk about managing distractions Tuesday and Wednesday, I believe. Time management. Yes, you're in the right place. To balance work, life, and schedules. Yes, we've all been there. Balancing school and life. Yes, this is going to be the majority of what we're going to be talking about in our other presentations. Lauren, you will not fall behind. As long as you stick to the resources and the tips and advice and know your people, we're going to help you get through it. So that fear of failing, it's normal, right? But it's what you do to control that fear. And we're going to help you get through that, okay? So let's talk about a couple of things. The presentation today is going to cover these areas. Please take notes as you see fit. You're going to get a copy of this whole presentation and the recording. Okay, so don't feel that you have to capture everything. Today's presentation is really heavy with information, resources, and things you need to know as a first-time in college student. What I want you to do today is maybe write down key phrases that stick out and then notes that you think about. Okay, so we're going to cover campus technology, policies and procedures, transitioning from high school to college, and then campus life in general. If you have questions throughout the presentation, please feel free to take your mic off or drop it in the chat button. And if Ms. Destiny or Dr. Adame can please let me know if I've got a question. Thank you. All right, so we're going to talk about Canvas. Does anybody know what Canvas is or have you used Canvas before? Yes. All right. There's some experience there. Great, great, great. So one of the most important things that you're going to find in Canvas is your syllabus. Your syllabus is going to be where your professors store all of your information. So you're going to have things like assignments, due dates, quizzes, maybe discussions, all this fun stuff, their contact information, how to contact them, how do they prefer to be contacted. You're going to see something on your syllabus that is going to be labeled differently. It might say instructor's office hours, drop-in hours. I need everybody to know that this is what it means, what it does. Your professors are there to help you. If your professor has listed office hours, those are times for you to come in, ask a question, get a clarification, let them know something that you're struggling in, maybe some guidance or advice that you need. That's what your professors are there for. So feel free to use that information. So your syllabus is basically a breakdown of what you're going to be doing the first day of class all the way up until finals. You're going to have important due dates. You're going to have important information like how your class is broken up into. It's going to tell you what percentage of your class work is going towards your final grade, your exams, so on and so forth. So what I'd recommend is when you log into Canvas and you can see your course information is to go ahead and print the information that you're going to need to help you stay on track. So here again is just a reminder of just everything that you're going to find in your Canvas on your syllabus. So be sure that you're kind of looking at those areas. There is a link within this presentation. So when you get the presentation, you'll be able to click into it and it'll take you straight to Canvas. I'm not going to click on it for now, but I want you to know that that's what that's going to be there for. And then we'll also send you all of the links. You also have access to Google Suite. TWU has purchased a license for all of our faculty, students, and staff to use Google Suite. This is free to you. What you want to know is that moving forward, all communication with any TWU staff should come through your TWU email account. That's the only way our faculty staff will be communicating with you. So can't use your personal email addresses to do college, to reach out to college, to people at the college. So you have access to the Google Suite, which includes Word, Google Sheets, Google Docs. You have the Google Slides, everything that Google offers. You have access to that, including a certain amount of space for you to store all your documents. So make sure that you're making yourself comfortable with Google Suite. We'll also be passing on some resources for you to help get used to Google Suite, as well as some training material for anybody who needs some additional support in that area. You have access to LinkedIn Learning. So LinkedIn is a social media platform for job-related internships, just meeting, networking people that you come into contact with. Within the LinkedIn suite, you have access to over 160,000 videos and over 4,000 courses. I do want to take you quickly into this link just to show you what you have access to and what you can do in here. So within this tool, you have access to be able to say, let me look up communication. Maybe I'm not comfortable or don't know how to speak to my professors, or maybe making a class presentation. There's videos on communication foundations, interpersonal communication, develop your communication skills. You can pretty much Google anything or search anything within LinkedIn Learning and have access to this information, and it's all free to you as a TWU student. You would simply log in with your TWU credentials. So if there's anything you wanted to brush up on, I saw some time management. If you search time management, then we have some time management tips. So all that information is available to you as well. So feel free to dab in, and I'm going to send all the links out so you'll have access to be able to get in here just to kind of do some more extracurricular learning that you might feel that could help you this semester and moving forward. All of your TWU communication, like major announcements, and are going to come through your Pioneer portal. So most of you have already gotten into your Pioneer portal, but it is a separate suite, and this is going to be where you will have access to your course history, your financial aid, any scholarships. If you're searching for classes, your degree plan, all of this fun stuff is housed within your Pioneer portal. Okay, so we've reviewed just 3 major campus resources that you're going to need to be familiar with. Does anybody have any questions? Well, that's a lot of information, but I'm going to keep going. All right. We are at our TWU policies and procedures. When I was going to school, they gave us a book about this big, and it was called our course catalog. It had everything you needed to know about coming to college. It talked about your courses, your degree plans, who and what to contact and when. Now this is all available to you online, and it is called your student handbook. The student handbook is a document where you will find all the information that you need to know as a TWU student. So we're going to click here. We're only going to cover a couple of parts today, but just again, I want you to realize that this is a document that you're going to need. What we're going to cover first is, let me click in here. Let's cover, give me a quick sec. I think my link changed since the last time I got in here, so give me a quick second and let me find this one. Code of Student Conduct. I'm so sorry, my link broke. But I want to show you how easy it is to access any information that you need at our TWU website. So what we're going to do is we're going to just search it. And under our Office of Civility and Community Standards, oh, this is where it's at. I apologize, Student Code of Conduct. We're going to look at academic integrity. Okay. So one of the things I want to talk about is academic integrity and what that is. So anything that falls under academic integrity has to do with cheating, plagiarism, anything that has to do with the ethical decisions that our students make that impact the environment that they're in the classroom. So this includes academic dishonesty, academic integrity, academic setting, it defines it within here, and then there are consequences. So this is just very important to know that there is an office that does oversee our academic integrity and academic dishonesty. They have a process for students. So if you do submit something to class that might be considered plagiarism, coercion is when you work with another person and you kind of submit where you do submit the same or similar answers to an essay, to a project, things like this. These are things you have to know about, and it has to be your original work so that you avoid getting into this area. So that's one area I wanted to cover with you. The next one is class attendance. It's very important as a student that you understand you have responsibilities to come to class. As your students, as students at TWU, here we go. So section 4, academic affairs and records, class attendance. And I know it's kind of, you have to know where to navigate, but we'll send you the direct links to these things. It's just, it makes it easier for you to get to, but you can also just go to search TWU, look up class attendance. So within all your classes, so some of you stated that one of the things you're worried about is falling behind or failing. That can happen when you tend to not show up to class late. Inside your syllabus, your instructors will have information regarding contacting them if you're not able to make it, but you should more than always plan to attend class and save emergencies for when you miss class. So if you have a doctor's appointment, if you can schedule your doctor's appointment around your school hours, that is the best thing to do, because we do have an attendance policy that states you have to be in class to be able to get credit. And if you don't attend class, your instructors can drop you from course. Dropping you from a course will delay your graduation. It can impact your financial aid. It can impact any scholarships that you do get. So it says right here, attendance do not exempt you from academic absences, excuse me, do not exempt you from academic requirements. Excessive absences, even if documented, may result in you failing the course. And incomplete may be granted if you have a passing grade. So there is an academic consequence to not attending a class and missing too many classes. So always make sure that if you do need some help with why you're missing classes, whether it be transportation, whether it be medical reasons, that you are keeping your professor in the loop. Some professors may be more lenient than others, but it is not a requirement for your instructors to excuse your absences. You have the requirement to be in class every day. The next thing I want to cover is this is kind of the outline of the subjects that are listed within the student handbook. So you have it divided by section, and it goes from section 1 to section 8. So they talk about campus safety, they talk about our academic affairs and records, our services and resources. So it's just another landing point for you to be able to access information as you need it. And calculating your GPA. Does anybody know what GPA stands for? It's on the screen. So your GPA is your grade point average of all grades you have earned in one semester. You will get, at the end of the semester, you will have on your transcript, which is your academic record. It's going to show everything that you've been enrolled in this semester. You'll start to see a term GPA. This is your average of the classes that you're taking this semester. And then after your second semester, you'll see a cumulative GPA. This is the overall grade point average for all semesters and all courses at TWU. It's going to be very important that you understand what a term GPA is and what a cumulative GPA is. And it's also going to be important that you understand that you have to maintain certain GPA requirements for financial aid purposes, for scholarship purposes, and most importantly, for those students who might be trying to get into our competitive programs. So any of our programs that require you to take courses before you get into it and to apply, this is going to be something that you're going to be need to be aware of. There is a link here for a free GPA calculator. I want you just to kind of know that this is an option. I'm not going to click into it right now, but what you will do is, say for instance, you are in your classes and you're struggling maybe in one class, but not so much in the others. You can actually go in this calculator and say, what if I make an A in this class, a B in this class, and then this is a class I'm going to make a C in? Like, what is my looking at for a term GPA? You have to maintain at least a 2.0 across the board in most programs and scholarships, but some require a GPA a little bit higher and a little bit lower. If you start to fall behind and you notice that your GPA is declining, then it's time that you start reaching out to somebody just for some additional support, some assistance, and some guidance, okay? So transition from high school to college. So when we ask those questions in the beginning of the presentation about what you're most excited about and what you're kind of nervous about, this is where we're going to cover some of this stuff that I hope will help you as you transition and you make this transition from being a high school student to a first time in college student. The first thing, remember that all of your choices have consequences. If you decide not to go to class, if you decide not to do a homework assignment, if you decide to go to class, you're going to have consequences, right? So going to class is going to keep you informed. It's going to keep you abreast of what needs to be done. Not going to class, you're going to be missing assignments. You have the chance of risking your scholarships, your financial aid, and your GPA. One of the things that you're going to discover as you start transitioning and making this transition to a first time in college student is your independence. You have the opportunity to make your own academic, extracurricular, and personal decisions. If there's a student organization that you would like to join, you're able to do that. You're able to get out there and see what it's like to mingle with a group that has similar interests in you. And I challenge each one of you to make that step towards your independence. It's important for you to recognize that you have the power to make decisions and take responsibility for your actions, okay? This includes understanding your strengths, your weaknesses, and your interests. If you know that you are not a morning person, then you should probably say my bedtime needs to be 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock every day so that I can go to class Monday through Friday, whatever your schedule is. So you have to start making these goals so that you can progress towards this stronger sense of independence. Self-advocacy. You must learn to communicate with professors and/or staff, seek clarification when needed, and take ownership of your educational goals. So most of you probably have a general idea or a pretty solid idea of what you want to pursue as you start your education at Texas Women's University. If you're needing any information, if you're needing any guidance, if you're just needing clarifications, your professors are expecting you to come to them. So maybe in high school, your teacher would come up to you and say, hey, I noticed that you missed an assignment. Is there something you want to talk about? That's not going to happen or very rarely happen in college. It's your responsibility to talk to your professor and say, I don't understand this assignment, and not turn it in, but it's working with the professor to understand what is it that I need to do so that I can turn it in and maintain my GPA and start my process of self-advocating for myself. Communication, remember we talked about, should come through your TWU email, but feel comfortable walking into your professor's hours that they've listed on their syllabus, okay? This should be something that you gradually start working towards to help you feel more comfortable reaching out to all of your professors. If any of you plan to apply for scholarships or internships, a lot of them ask for letters of recommendations from your professors. So the earlier you get to meet a professor and build that relationship and build that rapport with the student, the easier it's going to be to say, Professor so-and-so, could you please write me this letter for this scholarship? Could you please help me with this application for a grant that I want to work on or a research project? You have people in your corner once you start reaching out to your professor. So it's very important that you start developing that skill. Personal growth. Explore any new interests, any hobbies that you have. Challenge your comfort zones and develop life skills that will prepare you for your future. So maybe we have some introverts in the audience, and it might be hard for you to establish new relationships with people, friendships, making groups, things like that. Challenge your comfort zones. We're going to go through a list of activities that where TWU places any activities that are on campus. Tell yourself, within my first week, I am going to attend one TWU event. I'm going to make one friend or one study partner this semester. So get yourself out of that comfort zone so that you start growing professionally and start making relationships with maybe people in your same major, professors, such as other people that you meet on campus. Academic rigor. In high school, you might have had open book exams. You might have had a question like, what is the square root of 9? What is the capital of Texas? College changes. You're going to be required to utilize critical thinking skills and to study independently. Using critical thinking skills when you use your critical thinking skills, you are using the knowledge that you've learned in class, maybe some theories, maybe some definitions, maybe some charts and graphs, and you're able to pull from that information and make a thought or respond to a scenario based off of the information you've learned. So this might be something that you recall in high school when your professors might have given you a short answer, or you just have to explain something in a short paragraph. That's critical thinking. You're going to use a lot of that in college. There might be some true falses, there might be some fill in the blanks, but the majority of your work is going to involve critical thinking. So this is the thinking outside the box. This is the academic rigor that is going to prepare you to get into these higher level courses. So you'll need to adapt to the increased workload and develop effective time management skills. Somebody had placed in the chat button as well that they're most concerned about time management, balancing work and life. Academic rigor is an important thing for you to maintain, but it can be difficult when you're struggling with time management or procrastination. So our later workshops will show you how to help balance those two areas so that you can continue with the academic rigor. Larger class sizes. I don't think I saw this in the chat. Some of your classes are going to be relatively small, but other classes might be a little bit larger. And that's going to be something that you're probably not used to. You're probably used to sitting in a class with, 20, 25 people. They're going to be a lot larger because there's so many more students that are interested in taking that particular class. This also means less individual attention from professors. So it's important to take initiative in your own learning. One thing I can recommend is if you do have a larger class or if you do struggle with distractions, sit at the front of the class, get there on time, sit there at the front of the class and establish eye contact with your professors. Your professors, if you tend to doze off, maybe if you have a laptop and you're doing other things, your professors will not stop you from doing that. But you're attending class and it's your goal to self-advocate and to make sure that you are getting the most that you can from your professors. So sitting in the front of the class will help you stay more engaged and less likely to be distracted. This does not mean that your professors do not care. It just means they have so much information to get to you within these class times that they're moving pretty fast. Like me right now, I am moving with this information, trying to present this to you. I have the chat going and I have the video going. I can't pay attention to all three things. My goal today is presentation. So just like your professors, their goal is to present to you. So if you have a question and you raise your hand like this, they're not going to see you in the back of the class. But if you're at the front of the class and you raise your hand like this, you're more likely to get their attention, okay? Support systems. Students must proactively seek out support services, advisors, tutoring, counseling. So in high school, you might have had a close-knit support system. You had teachers, you had your counselors, you had your parents. Your parent might call your professor, your teacher in high school and say, my son this, my daughter this, they didn't get their homework. Could you please send it to me and I'll help them do that? There's none of that here at college. Your parents actually cannot speak to a TWU staff member, faculty member, on your behalf without consent. So your parents have to give consent. So if you're worried about a class assignment, if you're worried about what class you're going to take next semester, you have to reach out to your advisors and set the appointments. If you are struggling, maybe want to reach out to a support counselor, you want to reach out to our counseling team, you have to schedule that appointment. So it's going to be important for you to understand how to navigate the services that TWU offers, but most importantly, to remember that Destiny, Dr. Dame, and myself are also resources for you. So if there's something that you're like, hey, I don't have any money for food, what can I do? You have to reach out, and you can definitely start with the three of us so that we can help navigate what support systems that you need. But it's also up to you to go to our TWU website and let's look at food. There's a food pantry, right? So it's up to you to go in there and start looking up this information and getting the support that you need, or at least knowing who to go out to. If you forget all this information, I'm going to go back to knowing your professors. Go back to your professors. Hey, I don't have money for food. I don't have money for transportation. Do you know anywhere that can help me? We are your support systems, but you have to seek out the support, okay? These are some of the areas we're talking about when I said that we had a list of pages where you can go out and find out what's on campus, how to get more involved. We're going to start off with our campus life office. Our campus life office has an area called student life. And our student life department will have different areas that they oversee, but they also have different events that they do. So you're more than welcome to kind of go through their website and see the features that they have. You have areas, you see their services, how to get involved. They help with orientation, so you might have met a lot of these individuals on your tours, how to find resources and different departments. Our fit and rec area is where everybody checked in for orientation. We have a fitness and rec department, but they do a lot more. They do spring break trips, they do outings, they have an aquatic center. You might have already seen the climbing wall. They have activities on different campuses. I know the majority of our promise students will be on the Denton campus. For those of you who will be transferring out, maybe once you get into your selected majors, they are campus specific as well. And then they list all their events here. So they have a sunrise yoga on August the 7th. They have waterworks. So they have different things that you can click into. So for those individuals who said they wanted to meet people or had different interests, challenge yourself. Pick an activity to join. They have the gaming lounge. You might have saw that as well on orientation. How to get involved. This is just another way for you to stay abreast of what is happening in TWU on the TWU campus every day. And then it also helps you to plan around your week and your day. This is the link to our TWU website, but if you scroll all the way down to the bottom, you're going to see a event section. And again, this is the list of all our events that are happening. The first place I took you to the events is just Student Life. This is TWU wide. So you're going to see programs from our Jane Nelson Institute. You'll see programs from Career Services. We do programs as academic coaches, workshops. You'll see those listed here. But the best part, here's August the 30th. They're going to have an Org Fest, which means all the student organizations are going to be involved on campus so that you have an opportunity to go and see if there's a Greek life you want to join, if there's a organization that matches with your religion, with your interest, all of these fun things. The fun thing here is it helps with planning. So this one is Wednesday, August the 30th. What you can do is click on the link and add it straight to your Google Calendar. So we talked about how we are an institution that has adopted the Google Suite. It also involves the calendar. So if you add this to your calendar, you know that it's something you want to do. We're close to a month, we're a little under a month away from August the 30th. But if you add it to your calendar and you're consistent with using your Google Calendar and adding information, then you're more than likely not to miss events like this. So just another feature I wanted to show you. We also have our Pioneer Engage. What you'll do as a TWU student is you'll log into our Pioneer Engage. And again, it's just another resource for you to find organizations, attend events, but you can also track involvement. So say, for instance, you add the Org Fest in here. If you add it in here, you can track your involvement. So if you have to write a letter for a scholarship, or if you want somebody to write a letter of recommendation for you, you can come into here and print this information and say, here are the things I've been involved with. Or if you get asked a question on a scholarship application that says, how have you been involved? And you really can't come to terms with, well, how am I going to put everything I did in this last year together? If you tracked it in here, then you're able to say, oh, I remember I did this. I remember I did this. I'm going to write about these two things because they have to do with this scholarship. So just another resource for you to kind of know what TWU offers. And again, you'll have the links for all this. So let me give you a few seconds just to read this quote. Let today be the start of something new. How are we going to do that? There's going to be a couple of questions on this slide and the next slide. I want you to read over, and I want you to take some time before school starts to at least answer a couple of them so that you have a plan for moving forward. I'm going to read them out loud. What are your goals this semester, and how do you plan to make the most of these opportunities available to you? Remember, we talked about challenging your comfort zone, knowing what your strengths and weaknesses are. So if your goal this semester is to make it to class on time, then we need to make sure that you're staying on track with doing that. What do you hope to learn or discover about yourself during your college journey? How do you plan to actively pursue personal growth and development? So if you know that you are going to be a teacher, or if you know that you're going to be a nurse or a physical therapist, what are you going to do to actively pursue personal growth in that area? Are you going to start volunteering? Are you going to start networking with these individuals? What is that going to look like for you? What are some activities or clubs you're interested in exploring? Are there any specific challenges or obstacles you anticipate facing in your first semester, and how do you plan to overcome them? So I really want to thank those of you who entered what you're fearful of, and you were really honest in our chat. But this is maybe one of the questions you need to work on. Are there any specific challenges? Write them all down. Obstacles, write them on down. And then let's determine a plan on how you would like to overcome that. And if you're still not comfortable with coming up with a plan, or you don't know how, then again, this is what Destiny, Dr. Madame, and myself are here for, to help give you that guidance and support. How do you envision balancing your academic responsibilities with your personal interests and social life in college? It's going to be very important that you look at these three things like a stool. A stool traditionally has what? 3 legs, right? And if you look, you need all three to be successful. You cannot focus only on your academics and forget your personal interests and your social life. You have to balance all three of those things. So how do you do that? And how do you envision it to look? What are going to be the priorities? You're not going to be able to do everything, but you have to pick what's going to be in your best interest for personal, what's going to be in your best interest for life, social life in college. And then your top priority should be your academic responsibilities. So I do want you to take some time to look at this PowerPoint later, look at these questions, reflect on those, and actively work towards answering those and revising them as you continue your studies here at TWU. At each of our presentations, we're going to be covering a campus spotlight. I'm going to cover 3 areas today, which is our Center for Student Leadership, our Center for Student Development, and our Study Abroad program. Our Center for Student Leadership, both of the top 2 are opportunities for you to get more involved on campus. All of this is free of charge to TWU students. You just have to go out and look for it, right? This is the self-advocacy part. They offer educational programs, leadership development programs, scholarship programs. So it prepares exceptional student leaders through programs, leadership development, and scholarships. So if this is something that you're interested in, then this may be something that you look into further. But I definitely wanted you to know that this exists at TWU. Our Center for Student Development. So our Center for Student Development oversees civic engagement, Greek life, graduate school council. This is for our students who are working on their degree, on their graduate degrees. So this won't apply to you just yet. Leadership, orientation, and student government and student organizations. All of these fall under our Center for Student Development area. So if you are looking at ways, so it says students can get involved with alternative weekend breaks, alternative spring breaks, and lunch and learns, helping hands, service ambassadors, again, a way to keep you involved. Again, the Greek life, the student government. So if anybody was involved in student government in high school, this would be an excellent way for you to continue that if that's something that you enjoy. And then they have student organization councils. So definitely take some time to review some of this information. Lastly is our study abroad. I did have an opportunity to study abroad and I really did love it. It was a great opportunity to be able to study in another country. Depending on your major, your program may or may not offer opportunities to study abroad. But if you go to our study abroad website, you're able to connect with the faculty here. You're able to look at the education programs here. You can get academic credit. So study abroad is an opportunity for you to get TWU credit to study in another country. You do have to pay for this. There is scholarships available, but it won't cover everything. So you will have to put some money out of pocket, but it gives you an opportunity to grow and develop somewhere else other than the TWU classroom. So I really do encourage, if this is something, if you've wanted to travel and just haven't had the opportunity to travel just yet, you can travel and earn credit towards your TWU career. The only thing that I strongly advise is if you do consider this, that you plan your semesters moving forward. You're not going to be able to study abroad your first or second semester, just because you need to make sure that the credits are applicable towards your degree. And you really do want to make sure that you maintain that high GPA your first and second semester before studying in another country. You will have language barriers, although the information should be taught in, it will be taught in, your native language in English. You're just going to have barriers that may exist in other places. You want to make sure you have that foundation before jumping into a study abroad program, but it can also be something to add to your academic resume. I do want to tell you about our workshops. As an academic coach here at TWU, I will be offering a couple of these workshops. You're going to get a copy of this, or this is actually already in your Google Classroom, but we do strongly encourage you to attend. It's just a couple of workshops throughout this semester. We do them every semester where we help students with study strategies and study skills. All these sessions are recorded, so you're able to watch these later if you do need to get back in and watch them later, or to kind of touch base on, refresh on some of the things. But we have one September 6th, September 27th, October 18th, and November 8th. So those links to register will be within your Google Classroom for those of you who are interested. All right, I know that was a lot of information, but I do want to take some time. If you have any questions, please take your mic off of mute, ask your questions, or drop them in the chat, and I'll address your questions. If you feel like I don't want to ask a question, everybody's going to see my question. If you go to the chat button and hit direct, it'll come straight to me. And I will not mention any names, but I'll still answer your questions. So let's take a few minutes to do that. Questions about anything I've asked? So that question is for Miss Destiny. She'll reply directly to you. Thank you for asking. If there's anybody else who has not received that Google Classroom, send a direct message to Miss Destiny, and she will look into that for you. All right. When do syllabuses usually become available? Great question. If you're lucky, before class starts. But traditionally, they're not there till the first day of classes. Okay, so some professors might have taught a class before, or they have that information readily available. So then they're able to produce it a lot quicker versus an instructor who might be revising it or, getting it all prepared. It has to be there the first day of class. So by the first day of class, you can expect to see it. And I recommend that everybody goes in and downloads your syllabus for each of your classes. And the great thing to do is to print a copy, keep a hard copy in your notebook, and then download a copy and keep a digital copy in your Google Suite. So would the Dallas Promise would the Dallas Promise apply to oversee internships? These are two different areas. We will be covering our internships in one of our TWU spotlights at the end of our presentation. I believe that'll be Dr. Adami's presentation. We will talk about internships, but really quickly, an internship is an opportunity that could be paid or non-paid for a student to work at a particular company to gain a skill set that might not be hands-on in the classroom. So you might learn customer service skills in an environment outside of the classroom. So that's what an internship is. Dr. Adami will go over that a little bit more in her presentation. Does Dallas Promise cover room and board? So our financial aid department will be here tomorrow, and that is a question. That is a question that I will follow up with them tomorrow. And if not, then it'll be a question that can be asked again tomorrow. Okay. Thank you, Giselle. Abigail, how do we access the LinkedIn Learning Platform? So the LinkedIn Learning Platform, if you go to the TWU website and you type in LinkedIn Learning, we're going to send all of these, right? But I want to show you how to reach these resources. If you go here, click in LinkedIn Learning, the link is right here. So I'm going to take it, I'm going to put it in the chat for you guys, okay? There we go. There's LinkedIn Learning. So everybody has a chance to get in there. And I'm trying to catch up with my questions. All right. Thank you, Destiny. Destiny dropped the Google Classroom invite in our chat button. Where can you check to see what books you need to get for each class? Let's see. So it will be listed on your syllabus. Your syllabus will give you once you receive your syllabus will tell you what books are required and how should you, what other like additional resources that you need. So once you log into Canvas, it'll tell you, and then you can buy your books either at the TWU bookstore or you can buy them online, like through any third party. Just be sure that you have them in time by the time class starts. You might be able to get away maybe your first day, but I have had personal experience with professors beginning lecture on day one. So you don't want to take that risk of not having that. So make sure that you look in advance. And I know it's kind of hard if your professors haven't mentioned where to, haven't posted that syllabus yet. But if they have not posted that syllabus and it is the first day of class and you don't know what book you need, there should be a grace period because they didn't post it till the day before or the day of. Okay, so don't worry about that. All the material that we're going to use for the class are in the syllabus. Yes, they should all be, any material that you're going to use for the class will be listed in your syllabus. Now, your professor might have already printed your syllabus and talked about a particular book in class and say, here's the book. If anybody wants to buy this, this is kind of a good study guide. It's recommended. So like that information won't be in there. But it is something that maybe he would attach to your Canvas in an announcement and say, here's the book we covered in class if anybody's interested in getting a copy. So you can check in both places, but for the most part, it should be on your syllabus. What resources and support services are available to students to help with their personal well-being if you are overwhelmed? So we have, at the end of all of our presentations, we're going to just about cover every TWU resource. So we're also going to put it in a combined list once we're done with the presentation so that you have access to that. But again, our TWU website, if you go to, let me go to the actual homepage. I've clicked this open so much. I really, really love our TWU website. So if we go to the TWU website and we click on student life, if we click under mental health resources, there, and this is going to be covered in our presentations throughout the week, but just really quickly, we have all of these resources here, right? So there's a crisis line, there's peer support. So I don't want to dive too deep into this, but I want to let you know just you can find it just by going to our homepage, student life, mental health resources. So we can help with that. And then as academic coaches, what we do is we meet with students to help students with any areas they may be struggling with, time management, balancing work life, being overwhelmed. If you're feeling overwhelmed, we just kind of need to stop, pause, identify what our priorities are, and then make a plan. Okay, so these are things as coaches that we help you through. So please feel free to set an appointment with us. And we're going to go through how to set an appointment with an academic coach. So I have a Terry Scholarship and Outstanding Scholarship. Okay, so I have a question and direct question about scholarships and Outstanding Scholarships and Dallas Promise. Tomorrow, our financial aid people will be here and they're going to cover all of this information. I'm not able to answer that for you because this is their expertise and they'll be able to help you with that as well. So even a whole lot better. So they know what's going to cover first, second, and then what'll still be remaining. Okay. What's the name of the website where you can access your syllabus? Your syllabus will be listed in Canvas. So Canvas is going to be where all of your information for your classes is listed. So let me get out of here really quickly. It's actually, I have a link right here. So this is everything you need to know about Canvas. Again, I mean, I'm dropping the links here just so that you have immediate information. We're going to follow up and send you this. So this is Canvas student guide, Canvas video guide for students, and discussions in Canvas. You might have to participate in a discussion board in a classroom. So it's just going to show you how to do that here. But you'll have access to all this information at the end. Let me see if I've gotten through all my questions. All right, I think I have. Any other questions? Anybody want to take their mic off or just go through the regular questions? When do classes actually start? So classes start August the 28th. It's good to remember that it's the day before my birthday. My birthday is the 29th. Fun fact, in case anybody needs to know or cares. So what we're going to do right now is, click the wrong button. What we're going to do right now is we're going to give everybody the my contact information. If anybody would like to reach me, my contact information is listed. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So the contact information is listed on the screen. We do have a survey. Destiny just dropped the link. If you can please go to our comment section. If you could click on the survey, let us know how your experience went today. We'd love to hear from you. All right, any last questions? Let me take you really quickly to our academic coaching. So as academic coaches, we meet with students. This is going to be the last thing. I know there's a lot of jumping around. I apologize, but we're going to send you all these links. You'll go to our academic coaching website, and as academic coaches, we help students with time management, test taking, note taking, general study skills, learning styles. If you're not sure what your learning style is, then you can do that. We have an assessment for you to take and kind of review that for you, talk about academic motivation and just what you see here and a whole lot more. Okay, so we can help you get adjusted to being a first time in college student, and then we can meet with you every semester. So you will click on Get Coaching, and then you would pick your campus and then schedule an appointment with one of our academic coaches. So I'm going to drop this link here if anybody's interested. Again, another link just for today, but we'll follow up and send you this information later as well. All right. Any other questions? Jessica, can you confirm the start date for the classes starting, please? Dr. Dami?
For the beginning of the semester?
Yes.
August 28th.
Classes, just confirming August, classes do start August the 28th. I got a direct message just confirming that. Wanted to confirm.
And really quickly, Christine, you do have one more question. I want to make sure her question gets answered from Jasmine.
Okay. Can you read it to me, please?
Yes. What should we typically email you for?
So emailing me would be, if you want to schedule a full appointment, then you can schedule an appointment for academic coaching. So that's going to be anything on that last slide that we covered. So if you're having questions about studying, test taking, anything like that, if you're just like, hey, I remember that lady spoke about something, but I need some more information, I'd be happy to clarify anything in today's presentation. Anything that has to do with Dallas Promise will go to Destiny Tolbert. And Destiny, can you drop, well, her email was in the beginning of the PowerPoint. So anything that has to do with Dallas Promise will go to Destiny Tolbert.
I'll send it again.
Yeah, thank you. So for me, anything for me would just be clarifications on anything we covered today or the other presentations that I'd cover. If you just want to ask me a question that's something I didn't cover and you just don't know who to reach out to, I'm definitely also that person. Okay. Do we know anything about Pioneer Camp and are we required? I don't know. Let me double check. Anybody know that one offhand, Dr. Adame? Or
So yes, Pioneer Camp is happening. Sorry, I have it on my notes.
all students are required to participate in Pioneer Camp. So yes, it is a requirement. Thank you, Dr.
Yes. Okay.
Any other questions? Remember, a lot of people have been using this direct message, so feel free to send a direct message. All of our recordings from today and throughout the week for these workshops, they're going to be available to you in probably a week after 2 weeks at the most, where our goal is to get everything transcribed and uploaded for you to have a really quick turnaround, but please give us at least 2 weeks and we promise it would be there a lot sooner, okay? Thank you, Maya. This was very helpful. Thank you so much. You're welcome. So Pioneer Camp is scheduled for August 23rd through the 29th. You should be receiving more information, like just check your TWU email. If you're needing to contact somebody, there's a full schedule. I'm going to drop the link in the chat right now. So for anybody who wants additional information on Pioneer Camp, here we go. I appreciate the information. It helped a lot. Thank you. We really do hope that you continue joining us for our remaining sessions. Like I said, tomorrow is going to be financial aid and scholarships. We'll have some academic pieces and ending our week with a career piece. Right. Well, if we don't have any more questions, Destiny, do you have any final comments, or Dr. Dame? All right, everyone. Well, thanks for joining us. We hope to see you tomorrow. You're free to go. Thank you, Mariana. Thank you, Mailing. Thank you, Amy. You're welcome. Have a good one. Thanks, Trinity. Thanks, Marlene.